going to be discussing the multi-billion-dollar social media, gaming, and porn industries and how they're connected and why this information is so very important to incorporate into our work with young people. I want to start with a trigger warning, as this presentation does contain information about sex, hypersexualization, and pornography. It may include graphic language, text, and images throughout. So please view at your discretion and feel free to chat or talk, walk away, come back, whatever you need to do for some self-care. Basically, porn is everywhere. This is what one teen told researchers writing a report on kids and porn for the Office of the Children's Commissioner in England. The reality is that most young people will inevitably be exposed to porn. In fact, 1 in 3 kids say that they've seen explicit hardcore porn by the age of 12, which equates to roughly 25 million children just in the US alone. In the majority of cases, they've stumbled upon it accidentally, so we have to talk about it. Hypersexualized and pornified images do seem to be everywhere. They're used to advertise so many things. This one is advertising perfume, and the other one, clothing. And this one is selling milk and, of course, sandwiches. And if that doesn't scream, eat subs from Subway, I don't know what does. So we really want to talk about how kids are being bombarded by these images through social media and just taking a look at how huge this industry is. As you can see, there's nearly 5 billion users of social media worldwide. That's almost 60% of our population. And we're seeing reports that the average user is visiting 7 different social media platforms each month, and they're spending anywhere from 2.5 hours to 3 hours per day on social media in total. If we are looking specifically at social media and teens, about 90% of our teens are using social media, but it is estimated that more than half of children aged 11 and 12 have personal social media profiles, even though most social media platforms have that minimum age requirement of 13 years old. So 75% have at least one social media profile, and over half of them are visiting those sites at least once a day. The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry says that the average amount of time teens are spending connected to the internet is about 9 hours. Now, research has emphasized the benefits as well as the drawbacks of social media use. Some of the benefits include, of course, increased socialization, especially at really young ages, social media as a way to practice communication skills and really develop identity and self-expression. Social media has been found to be a platform where kids can access support. This was especially true during the worldwide pandemic and especially indicative of our LGBTQ young people. Social media platforms boast that this is a way for kids to stay up to date with local and national and international news and actually take action, as we've seen the rise in social media activism, again, especially during the pandemic. However, the US Surgeon General recently released a report arguing that 13, that minimum age requirement for most social media platforms, is actually not old enough to be on social media. In that report, he cites other current research that also shows that social media can lead to decreased productivity, isolation, a lack of privacy, also increased stress and anxiety and depression, fostered by false connections and some unrealistic expectations on social media. Tweens and teens today are being bombarded with the playbook of pornography through social media platforms, such as these shown here. Snapchat was originally marketed as an app to send nude pictures. It was called Peekaboo. And on this platform, it's a photo and video sharing platform where users can send snaps, such as videos and texts, but they disappear in seconds. And this makes it really difficult to monitor who kids are talking to and what information they are sharing about themselves. Now, Instagram is another really popular photo and video sharing platform. There's hundreds of images of hypersexualized young people, especially young girls, like this one that was uncovered by Collective Shout, which is a nonprofit in Australia. They did a 15-month investigation of the sexualization of girls on Instagram. And this young girl here is Bella. She says she's 10 years old using the comment section. And you can see that she's wearing a black leotard, black fishnet stockings, and she's posed pretty seductively on a pole on what we would assume a bar because of the letters in the background. After one user asks, Bella, are you really 10 years old? The very next comment is, please open your legs. Now, Collective Shout submitted this and hundreds of images and comments to Instagram, and Instagram found that none of them technically violate their community guidelines. Now, YouTube is the most used digital video platform in the United States. And we're often asked about the safer version of YouTube Kids. Now, in our research, we found channels like the one displayed here dedicated to turning popular children's cartoons like Bubble Guppies into overtly sexualized and pornified recreations. Now, Bubble Guppies is about a group of mer-person preschoolers who work together to solve everyday problems. Well, this channel, Aries Kids TV, has taken the main character Molly and dropping her gills, gave her legs and put her on a stage. This entire channel is marketed to kids, and it features nude dancing and orgies between the characters. Even Facebook's own studies reportedly show the damage Instagram does to teenage girls. Research continues to document the negative effects of the comparison factor of social media, citing increased depression, decreased well-being and self-esteem, leading to poor body image and eating disorders. And this brings us to TikTok. TikTok is the #1 global app used by teens today. And Dr. Elaine Casket, a UK psychologist who has extensively researched social media, calls TikTok and the overt sexualization a supercharged catnip for teens, as teenagers are naturally interested in taking risks, in finding out about sex and discovering themselves as sexual being and exploring all of that. But they are also open to flattery, seduction, and to the verification they get from the hearts and the likes that they receive from their pictures and videos. So when you combine this adolescent desire for approval with a global digital platform, it can massively soup up girls' encouragement to post sexual content. For example, the silhouette challenge that you see down here in the black and the red started as a body positive movement and was a call for young women to celebrate their bodies. But almost as soon as it went viral, some started sharing tips and tutorials to remove that red filter to expose women's naked bodies without their consent. And now we're on to gaming. This is a billion-dollar industry with 3.1 billion gamers worldwide. 76% of them are under the age of 18, and our tweens and teens are spending about an hour and a half a day just on gaming and gaming platforms. And we know that the hypersexualization of female characters in video games, such as Grand Theft Auto, has been well researched for decades, but is nevertheless continuing today. And we're increasingly seeing this in games specifically marketed to young children, like Fortnite, Minecraft, and Roblox. Again, the research is mixed in regards to kids and video games. Some will cite the pros as developing or strengthening attention, imagination, critical thinking, and creativity. And some of the cons are that it fosters actually a lack of activity, more health problems such as damage to the eyesight, dizziness, headaches, disturbed eating and sleeping. Also, cyberbullying and aggressive behavior has been linked. And then we see Roblox, for example. Roblox began as an educational game for kids. It's free to use. It's a platform that lets you play millions of different games, or you can build your own game and let other people play it. It's actually been played by more than 25 million children worldwide. And many schools and institutions are actually using it to teach children how to build games online. It has games suitable for all age groups, 9 and up, 13 and up. But now Roblox has introduced just this year a new adult category for those over the age of 17. They call it a natural next step, and it features crude humor, more graphic violence, and romantic themes and topics. So it's really no coincidence that we see the images portrayed in video games such as Lollipop Chainsaw, this hack and slash video game that features the main character, Juliet Starling. She's a cheerleader zombie hunter fighting zombies in a fictional California high school. And just notice the really eerie similarities between clothing of the Victoria's Secret's runway show, the shape and the pose of that of the Lollipop Chainsaw. And again, here we see the very sex differences in clothing or lack thereof of the barely clothed Megan Fox and the fully suited Machine Gun Kelly at a video music awards show being highlighted in video games with regards to armor. Male armor can protect you against anything, while the female armor may not even protect against a sunburn. And new survey results show that 1 in 4 members of Gen Z want to become social media influencers. They make millions of dollars through brand sponsorships and advertisements. Like Ella Kosmovic, she's featured here in the middle. She's a 10-year-old dancer from Belgium who has nearly 10 million views on TikTok and 100 million views on YouTube for emulating influencers like Addison Rae. And of course, Ryan Kaji. He just turned 12 years old last month. He's the main star of Ryan's World. He has 45 billion views on YouTube and is worth over $100 million. The fact is that we are socialized through pop culture media. The major form of sex ed today for young people is pornography, and they have to search no further than their social media platforms to find it. And the intersection of these industries are evident. Take, for instance, TikTok. TikTok has a live streaming section. Remember, the age requirement to have a TikTok account is 13. You have to be 16 to live stream, and you have to be 18 to send and receive gifts from TikTok. There was a recent review of hundreds of TikTok live streams where they found viewers urging in the comment section young girls to perform for TikTok gifts. And these can be redeemed for actual real money or in off-platform payments to Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. Gifts were sent from adults to minors for things like, give me an outfit check, where they would scan their bodies, a pedicure check, which means show me a picture of your feet. They would say things like, there's a spider on your wall, or touch the ceiling, to get them to turn around to see their backsides or their midriffs. And oftentimes when young girls were in groups, they were encouraging them to play strip, rock, paper, scissors. Now, these images were captured from the live stream and redistributed on third-party porn sites. And we're always asked about Pinterest. Parents seem to think that this might be the safer alternative for their children instead of apps like Instagram or Snapchat. And Pinterest, as many of you know, is a digital scrapbooking service, but it has basic social networking features. Now, you still have to be 13 in order to have a registered account, but oftentimes we see young girls as young as 8 having their own Pinterest accounts. And NBC News did a recent investigation where they created their own account and they reviewed hundreds of girls' Pinterest accounts. And what they found was just astounding. The platform's own algorithms were curating images of young girls for adults who go looking for them. So these were pictures of kids doing natural things like doing splits and gymnastics, sticking their tongues out, dancing in their bedrooms in PJs, bathing suits, and leotards. But the boards that they were producing, Pinterest's own algorithms, were titled Young Girls, Sexy Little Girls, Hot, Delicious, Guilty Pleasures. Also, in an investigation from the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, which is the UK's leading charity in child protection, there was reports to their Childline, which is a free service for children to call and report. It highlights further the exchange of sexual currency for in-app gifts. This was a girl aged 14, and she said, "I was playing Roblox, and I was on a game where you work at a pizza place, and 2 people were pressuring girls to do inappropriate stuff with them. And if they did, they would get extra money in the game." So this last example focuses on Discord and how it's become a major hunting ground for predators. Now, Discord is an instant messaging and digital distribution platform created by gamers for gamers to share tips and tricks and build communities around the games that they play. All you need is a device with an internet connection and an email address to set up an account. And users communicate via voice calls, video calls, text messaging. They can share media and files in private chats or in parts of larger communities called servers. So think Skype and internet calling meets Reddit and discussion boards. And what we found is pretty astounding. There are over 100,000 not suitable for work, those NSFW servers that say you have to be 18 in order to access. But all you have to do is click this little red button here and you're in. No age verification required. Discord also features an open chat, which allows adults and children to interact without a whole lot of moderation. They have a location tracking, and they encourage donations. So we're seeing the exchange of sexual currencies for kids to get skins, which are outfits in the games, weapons, lives, tips to the next level, for instance. And that's allowing adults to meet kids right where they are through their multiplayer video games. Young people report users urging them to stream content and monetize it on YouTube with a natural progression into OnlyFans and Pornhub. Now, Discord serves as a gateway to the porn industry sites, as many have servers specifically dedicated to providing free porn, with over 30 million people contributing adult content. In fact, Pornhub, one of the world's largest porn sites, has a Discord server, and they boast that it's built by actual porn performers, and they distribute tons of free porn directly on this site. So we can see the connection in 3 ways. Obviously, the crossover content with the explicit images, the shared platforms, which show us the availability and accessibility of the internet and social media platforms. And it's creating new industries such as video game and AI porn, which is an emerging area of research for us as well, and common marketing tactics. I would be remiss if I didn't also mention the intersection very quickly, social media and trafficking. This ease of access and expanded marketplace allows traffickers a remote and interactive way to sell sexual acts and stream them directly into individual purchasers. It's a whole new product. They also use emojis to communicate via social media platforms. This string of emojis here is translated as "will pay money to record having sex with an underage person who's being trafficked by a pimp." So just those 5 emojis will pay money to record having sex with an underage person who's being trafficked by a pimp. So while porn and social media will continue to exist, we absolutely have control over how we reframe this culture's messaging with kids. So again, viewing pornography as a public health crisis for young people because of its pervasive nature and undermining the whole person health of young people. So what we do is take this public health approach, center young people, and really build confidence, knowledge, and skill in those people surrounding young people to have those necessary conversations. It's never too early, too late to start the conversation. We need to scaffold that information by correctly naming body parts and build on that. And being present, watching for warning signs is key. Some of those warning signs include withdrawal from family and peers and activities that they once liked. If they're closing or hiding their device as soon as you walk into the room, spending excessive amounts of time in the bathroom, being secretive about online and offline friends, having sleep issues, a lack of sleep or disordered sleep, and if they're starting to use sexual language and having some mood shifts that aren't explained by other things, those are things to look out for. And we know that parents, caregivers, educators, and medical, legal, and social professionals are all key protective factors. Numerous studies are showing that when these individuals have those necessary conversations with teens and tweens, this is significantly reducing risky behavior. So I'm going to end with a call to check out our resources. I've been putting tons of those links to the free courses that we have, including our new porn critical sex education curriculum. This is an amazing curriculum. We're super proud of it. And it really contextualizes porn within the context of exploitation, allowing young people to contrast healthy relationships, accurate information about the body with misinformation. I will put in the chat the academic library links where we have over 500 research articles. And later, Heidi and I are going to talk about our collaboration between our organization and the CAC working group that we have to create materials for CACs. And that is all I have today. I'm going to put those also those newsletter links that you can join us at Culture Reframed, partner with us, schedule more trainings.